Vice President now. So I don't know if you had your own, you probably do. I don't know. I don't know if you want to. You're actually very good about going off the cuff.
Am I?
Except for telling you Kathy's out there watching.
We got enough here to start?
We do. Let's just make sure that we usually have to get the heads up from the TV people. Got the heads up.
We got the heads up?
We did.
Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Could we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We would entertain a motion to adopt the agenda and the consent agenda as the order of our business. And we can also identify any items that we'd like to take off of the consent agenda for discussion and for separate action.
So moved.
Second.
Anybody want to take anything off for separate action? All right, all in favor say yes.
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 And let's consider the approval of the consent agenda as adopted, which is the minutes of the May 21st, 2019 meeting, the financial report for July 1st through May 31st, 2019, and the bills for May 1st through May 31st, 2019. Do we have a motion to accept that?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say yes.
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 Opposed say no. Okay, that brings us to board and district leadership team strategic planning and the legislative update. Dr. Dassow, do we have anything there?
No, we don't. At this point, we have the legislators can finish their budgets, and they've sent them to the governor, and we're really just waiting now to see where we are at. But there has really not been very many updates at all since the last time we met.
Any questions? Finance, building and grounds, facilities project update. Bob, do you have anything to?
Well, if you look at our facilities, there's a lot going on. So, and just finding your way around is a big deal. So it's key that you pay attention to the signs when you come into the building or you're in the parking lots, and it's a little bit of chaos, but it's all good. We're really on schedule for everything here, and middle August is kind of our timeline for completion. We are going to plan an open house to open the facility up, and that'll be homecoming weekend, so we'll open that to the community, invite everyone in. It'll be a nice way to celebrate homecoming as well as the new facilities we have here at the high school. When you're here, if you're looking for the district office, it's now located in Community Ed, and the high school office is located in the Food Science and Ag Center. So, other than that, Parkview, you'll start to see walls eventually here. I mean, it's a mess. But they know what they're doing, so it's good. And Fairview, we'll start to see some walls come down, and it's all very exciting. It's going to be challenging for those grade schools to get started up in the fall, but so far, the district leadership, you guys have managed this extremely well. It's very exciting. So, good stuff.
Thank you, Bob. We have the approving the gifts and corresponding budget adjustments. Dr. Dassow, what do we have there?
For the gifts, we have a donation of metal for school welding and fabrication programs from Diverse Tooling in Plymouth to be used in the Plymouth High School Technology Education Department. A donation of $376.11 from John Michael Kohler Arts Center for transportation on field trips to John Michael Kohler Arts Center. A donation of $363.95 from PTK for transportation to Above and Beyond Museum and Stephanie Wild Center. I believe that the PTK is Parkview. And a donation of $500 from Plymouth Education Foundation to support students at Riverview Middle School, and the Nourishing Greatness Program, and a donation of $500 from the Plymouth Education Foundation to support students at the Plymouth High School who will be attending the Future Business Leaders of America Conference. And I would recommend that we accept those gifts and their corresponding budget adjustments.
Do we have a motion to approve the recommendation that we accept these?
I make a motion that we accept them, and thank you to each one for their donations.
I second.
All in favor, say yes.
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 Opposed, say no. We don't have anybody signed in for public participation. Very good. Board liaison.
Number 7 is the renewal of the WI.
Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped over one. We have the approval of the school district's membership renewal to WIAA for the 2019-2020 school year.
Yep, this is the time of the year when that comes up, and the board needs to consider approval to renew the Plymouth School District's membership to the Wisconsin Interscholastic Athletic Association. There are no dues associated with this membership. It just allows us to be able to play and compete against other teams in the WIAA.
We have a motion to approve that we renew our membership.
I make a motion that we renew our WIA membership for the next school year.
Second.
Questions? All in favor, say yes.
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 Now we're into the board liaison reports. Community Ed, Sally, why don't you tell us what's happening there?
We actually had a meeting that I unfortunately was not at, but there's always stuff going on at Community Ed. There is a class called Balance and Functional Movement to maintain or regain balance and flexibility. That will be starting July 9th through August 15th. Go on the website and check it out. There's lots of other stuff. The other one is a hiking club. This is a free class, but you must register at least 2 days in advance in case it would be canceled for some reason, so they can let you know. It is every Thursday at 5:30. That's it.
Okay, very good. And Bob, what about the Plymouth Education Foundation?
Well, the scholarships were given out at the end of the year here. Big night again for our students. It's always impressive to hear of the accomplishments and see what the students are doing, and a lot of money given out by the foundation and those people that we are fiscal agent for. And a big thank you to the community for their contributions to the foundation and allow us to provide these great scholarships, as well as the funding for our grant program, which continues to grow and get better. So that's what I have.
Very good. Jamie, what's up with the Family Resource Center?
Well, I thought I would just mention, I don't know if everyone even realizes what the Family Resource Center does and how it relates to our Plymouth School District. Basically, the mission of the Family Resource Center is to educate at a preschool and family level. And so that's kind of how our community involvement involves with the Family Resource Center, which is a countywide program. However, being here in Plymouth, we have the opportunity to really utilize a lot of the programs that they have, which range from early childhood development all the way to tutoring if someone for English as a second language. So that's kind of the mission and why it ties in with what we're doing here as a school board in our community engagement pillar. And just a couple things that they're doing this summer, which are interesting. Their normal programs have been put on hold, their play groups, but they do have a couple really interesting educational type activities going on. The Museum Fun for Little Ones is happening July 23rd, and that is basically you have the opportunity to take your child to a museum and get experience in a museum, and that will be from 10 to 11, and that's free. As well as they're having outdoor games on August 7th, and that again is a little bit of a collaboration and for children to have the opportunity to go out and play in the outdoors and utilize the activities that are available. I think they are doing Bring Your Energetic or I'm Bored Child to Play. So that's from 5:30 to 7 on August 7th. They're asking for $5 per child payable by August 1st. And then there's an infant massage series that they're starting in September, which also is kind of interesting. You can find out more information on the website. And they will be starting the developmental screenings in September. There's several dates that they're available. Basically, it's a good opportunity for you to take your small child in, and they will screen them for developmental issues and let you know where your child stands, and maybe they will help you to identify if there are any issues, learning disabilities or learning issues that they'll be able to help you with at an early age, and hopefully take care of it before you get to the school age. And that starts September 25th. They've got 8 to 12 o'clock at, they're having some in Sheboygan, as well as at Generations. On the 25th, both are in Sheboygan. Also 3 to 7. October 10th will be in Plymouth at the Generation Center. And all these things are free. So please look at the website, familyresource.org. Actually, it's familyresourcesheboygan.org. That's all I have.
Thank you, Jamie. I will deal with professional development under the school board president's report. So that takes us down to personnel. And Dr. Dasso?
Yes, we have some retirements, and then we also have some contracts. So I think I'll do the retirements and resignations first, and then we'll do the contracts. Is that okay? Or would you like me to do them one at a time?
No, let's deal with them as a group, yeah.
Okay. First of all, the board will consider the retirement request of Therese Unker, guidance counselor at Parkview Elementary School, effective September 29th, 2019. Also, the board will consider the resignation request from Brittany Hoffman, special education teacher at Riverview Middle School, effective at the end of the 2018-19 school year. And the board will also consider the resignation request from Kellen Warner, sixth grade teacher at Riverview Middle School, effective at the end of 2018-19 school year. That's the resignation request currently.
Do we have a motion to accept these resignations?
Move we accept the resignations and express our appreciation to 33 years of service.
And the retirement of Therese,
Yes.
correct.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right. Second that.
All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed, say no. Let's go down to approving the teacher contracts.
Yep, the board will consider approval of a 100% contract for Caitlin Malk to teach agri-science at Plymouth High School, beginning with the 2019-20 school year. Also, the board will consider a 100% contract for Joseph Castrina to teach science chemistry at Plymouth High School, beginning with 2019-20 school year. And also, the board will consider approval of a 100% contract for Sarah Ellinger to teach special education at Riverview Middle School, beginning with the 2019-20 school year.
Do we have a motion to approve those 3 teacher contracts?
I make a motion we approve those 3 teacher contracts.
Second.
Any comments or questions? All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
And welcome.
And now we have a support staff update, and there's no action needed by us, but good information.
Yep, Jim Steffes has been hired as a maintenance technician traveling custodian at Plymouth High School, and Sarah Pa, special education aide at Horizon Elementary School, has submitted her resignation. Sandra served at the Plymouth School District for 2 years.
Very good.
That's all.
Let's go down to travel. We have 3 requests for out-of-state travel.
Yep, first of all, the board will consider the out-of-state request from Tracy Hambuck, Plymouth High School agriculture teacher, to take students to the National FFA Convention in Indianapolis, Indiana, October 29th through November 2nd, 2019. This request is consistent with the guidelines and board policy, and expenses will be the responsibility of the students and the families.
And do we have a motion to accept and approve that out-of-state travel request?
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
And then also, we have another request from Tracy Heimbuck, Plymouth High School agriculture teacher, to take students to the Illinois Horse Fair in Springfield, Illinois, March 6th through March 7th, and that should be 2020, not 2019. And this request is consistent with the guidelines in the board policy, and the expenses will be the responsibility of the students and the families.
We have a motion to approve that out-of-state travel request.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say yes.
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 And then finally, we have a out-of-state travel request from Gail Gran, Plymouth High School varsity softball coach, to take students to St. Louis, Missouri, April 17th through the 20th, 2020. This request is consistent with the guidelines and board policy, and the expenses will be the responsibility of the families and through fundraising. And Gail is in the audience if you have any questions for him.
What are you going to do in St. Louis?
Yeah, exactly my question.
Well, I can give you just a brief history. I told them this might be
Wow.
a meeting. Until you saw me on it. As some of you are aware, that have been around for a while, years ago when my first round of coaching softball, I had a stretch of 10 years in a row where we took softball teams to different cities. We've been to St. Louis twice, we've been to Nashville, Louisville, San Antonio, Florida a couple of times, went to Hawaii once. We won't be going back there. That took 2 years off my life, but organizing that one. But I think it's important for these kids. There's a group of kids here that they don't necessarily travel a lot. There might not be other things that can travel, and so we go to different cities and we try to do historical things. We've gone twice to St. Louis, and of course, they're going to be up at the game. They're going to go in the arch. If you've ever been to St. Louis, my daughter was there for 3.5 years at chiropractic school, so I got to know the city pretty well. But you've got the Jefferson Historical Westward Expansion Building that's right there. You've got the old courthouse that's there. You've got the Union Station. You've got a number of historical things that, and we make sure that they always, they have to go partake in those kind of things as well. So, but it goes beyond that. When we go on these trips, and the reason I want to come tonight is because now that I'm back coaching again, and I may be coaching for a number of years, I may be asking for out-of-state travel, every year, or at least every other year. And we get to meet another group of individuals, and even in St. Louis, it's another culture, it's another area of the country, and our kids, when we set up the games, we usually have dinners with the team afterwards, or do something like that. We do some bonding that way. The last time we went to St. Louis was in 2013, and like Caitlin Krasaniak was a senior. Some of those kids were on some of those teams, and they still have pictures, with the other team and so on. And we eat dinner afterwards, and so they get, and then they follow each other on Twitter and Face page and wherever else afterwards. So those kind of things live on forever. So those are it goes beyond playing a couple of softball games, and that's why I wanted to come tonight to make sure everybody knew that. We're not just trying to get out of town for warmer weather in April, although that is not a bad thing to do. That's not a bad thing to do too. So, and down the road, years looking ahead, we probably will, look to go to some of those same places where we've gone before, like Nashville or Louisville, or some of those, that are bus trip type cities, especially. And some parents will go along, even grandparents. We usually end up with a bus load of people going, for those 4 days. So.
Yeah, how many games do you usually play?
We try to, for this, I'll line up 2. We'll line up one on Friday on the way down. I've already got a contact. And then we'll line up another one on Saturday. And actually, the one I'm hoping to line up is one we didn't get to play the last time because I got snowed out down there. It's actually a former Plymouth grad, is the athletic director at a school in Waterloo, Illinois. And that's where we're going to try to line up our second game with then again. But I didn't want to get too far ahead. I want to make sure I had board approval before I did all those things, okay? But, yeah, and we couldn't go over spring break because of the Columbia trip next year. That takes like 4 or 5. Right, usually we do a spring break. I was going to mention that. If we ever do a bigger trip, it would be over spring break. But this time I can't do spring break because I want to have 4 or 5 players who I probably need. Okay. Any other questions? All right. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Coach. Do we have a motion to approve this travel request?
I move we approve this travel request.
Second. Any other comments or questions? All in favor say yes.
Yes.
And brings us down to the President's report. I want to talk about two things in this report. One is professional development, and the other is vision. We have 59% of our teaching staff in this school that have master's degrees. 42 of them have done it through our cohort that's in cooperation with UW Green Bay, and so they've been trained the way we hope and want them to be trained in their master's program, as well as they've all done projects that bring benefit to them. In addition to that, we've had 6 of them that completed that cohort this year. In addition to that, we had 4 others that have gone and done postgraduate work at other universities to qualify for various levels of leadership within our school district. So we have an interesting thing that's happened here. 24 have signed up for the next master's cohort, and which would be among our largest group yet. And we're looking at probably putting them off for about a semester, because we want to take a look at a delivery system, which for those on the school board, Dan Mella explained to us, called Who Knew It. And through that delivery system, we would like the opportunity to try to create some master's level type of training, but outside of our cohort, something that might be just a little bit more applicable to certain disciplines that could, and that's going to take us a little time to look at and see how we can develop it, give us some flexibility and opportunity. So our administration is always looking for what's the next level we can take our professional development to, and our professional development in this school district is at an extremely high level, but they're looking to take it yet one further step. And so to try to develop some of this and see what the possibilities are, they'll wait just 6 months before they start that next cohort. So did I say that correctly?
You said it correctly.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
I'm always excited about professional development, but I just love the way that happened. Vision is one of the 5 major functions of us as a school board. And with that, we are to set the tone of what we want our education system to be, and we do that in cooperation with our community and with the administration. And there's existing, without any further thought of ours at this point, there are what I call 4 visionary type of statements that we have here. One is our mission statement. We read that before every one of our committee of the whole meetings. Our mission is to encourage everyone to see and be their very personal best through successful learning experiences, and with an exclamation point on the be the best. And I think best is an operative word there. And so that tells you what we want, but we go further and deeper. We have created 4 pillars of excellence. And those are visionary in the sense that they describe where we're trying to go, where we want our students to go. And underneath that, so that's a second type of visionary statement, those 4 pillars of excellence. Underneath each one of those pillars of excellence, we have a strategic plan, and within that strategic plan are anywhere from 3 to 6, what do we call this? Future states. And the future state is written in a visionary type of way. What we want to have happen. In fact, we've I think achieved one of those future states, or touched on it this last year, when we were able to go through the whole year without doing extra borrowing. As a result of the good fiscal management, primarily John Miller's leadership in that area. So we've got these future states that are kind of visionary and looking forward to where we want to go. And then the 4th type of visionary statement that we have is, I think it's just in the title of our high school. We call it Plymouth Comprehensive High School, which means we're all about opportunity, and I think that speaks to the Plymouth way here. Whereas that might be more specific to the high school, I think it plays throughout all of our schools. We want to have opportunity for every student at every level in every way possible, and so the Plymouth way, part of our vision, has been to create those opportunities, and I think we've done quite a remarkable job. So it would be my desire that we have some robust discussions about vision and about the future and where we want to go, because where we're at is just it's a good foundation, but we always need to be thinking down what's the next and where do we want to be. So we would begin, I think, with those 4 types of visionary statements, and then kind of dig down, make sure we understand where we're at and moving forward. So that's the area that I wanted to discuss, is the area of vision as a school board, because it is one of our 5 primary functions. So that's it.
Very good. Okay, and for the superintendent report, first of all, student and staff accomplishments. The Plymouth High School track and field team qualified 10 individuals for the state meet in lacrosse. The girls team finished 14th in the state division 2 this year. So congratulations to them and to their coach, and also I believe this is Jay Grosh's last season coaching too, so congratulations to him. The girls soccer team captured the regional title before losing in the sectional semifinal of the state tournament. And the Panther golf team sent 1 representative, Charlie Aschenbrock, to the state tournament in Madison on June 3rd and 4th. Congratulations to Charlie, that's quite an accomplishment. Our softball, baseball, and tennis teams also wrapped up a solid spring season. And the Plymouth High School horse evaluation team took first place at the state FFA Career Development Event Competition and is now qualified for a nationals competition. That's very good. Tracy Heimbrook is the leader there. Congratulations to all of them. And for the calendar, July 4th, we have no summer school. So just to let everyone know that. July 8th, we have a committee of the whole meeting at 5 p.m., and that's in room C109. And then July 16th is our next Board of Education meeting at 5:30 p.m., and we would like to move those also to room C109. We'll be able to tape the meeting in that room, and we have arranged for that. And we also will, it's just going to be easier, because construction will eventually lead us there. And then July 18th is our last day of summer school. So that's it.
Okay, very good. Any questions for Superintendent Dassel? I believe that we have completed the discussion on our agenda. So we would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say yes.
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 Very good, thank you. Enjoy the evening.